Okay, so as in the last video, we have discussed the Fezan's rule in very detail. Alright, so what was Fezan's rule? Fezan's rule is basically, you can say, a law or a rule which is used to determine the characters of covalent bond in an ionic bond. You can actually determine the covalent characters in an ionic bond because we have already studied there is no any ionic bond which is completely ionic, and there is not even a covalent bond which is completely covalent. There are some characters of each other exist in both. Alright, if that is an ionic bond, there would be some characters of covalent bond exist in it, and if that is covalent bond, there would be some characters of ionic bond exist in it. So there is no any bond which is completely ionic or completely covalent. There are some characters of each other exist in both. And to determine the covalent characters in an ionic bond, we discussed the Fezan's rule. So Fezan's rule was a qualitative rule which told us about the covalent characters in an ionic bond. It doesn't tell us how much covalent characters are present in it, but it tells us how much it is more ionic in nature, or it has more covalent characters as compared to any other ionic bond. So basically here in the Fezan's rule, we compare two ionic bonds and then we identify which one has more covalent characters and which one has more ionic characters. Then we discussed about the conditions with respect to cation. We know that in an ionic bond, we have two parts, one cation, one anion, right? We know that when anion has a polarization. Polarization is a process by what it is attracted towards the cation. So it happens on an anion, where anion a bit slides towards cation, and this seems a bit of shearing of electron, and this is what we call the covalent bond, right? Covalent bond is nothing but it is the shearing of the electron. So anion takes the characters and it shows us that it is sharing the electrons to the cation. So this is what we call the covalent characters, right? So covalent characters are found in an ionic bond. So we discussed the condition with respect to cation, and we have discussed the condition with respect to anion as well in very detail, everything, right? With respect to cation must have a smaller size. If it would have a smaller size, the charge density would be higher, and if the charge density would be higher, it would have more polarization power, which means it will have more capability to make anion attract towards it. Alright, then we discuss about charge of cation. Charge of cation must be more. Then we discuss about pseudo noble configuration. We discussed that when the element or an atom have a pseudo noble gas configuration, they'll have more polarization power, and if it will have more polarization power, there would be more covalent characters, and if it would have more covalent characters, there would be more less ionic characters, right? Then we discuss with respect to anion. On an anion, the polarization happens, which means it is attracted towards cation. So the size of the anion must be larger. It would have then more polarization, right? And then the charge of an anion must be larger as well. Then it will have more polarization, and if it will have more polarization, there would be more covalent characters, and if there would be more covalent characters, there would be less ionic characters, right? So this Fezan's rule we have discussed now in very detail. If we can solve question from any book, for example, if we are solving the question from KIPS, or we are using OETP or Punjab Federal, KPK or Sindh book, we will not face any difficulty, I'm damn sure. Okay, so now today we are going to discuss a bit, or you can say it is about an introduction to the covalent bond. What is actually covalent bond? Today we will be discussing that. Since now we have completed ionic bond, right? We have discussed what it is, what things are included, what is cation, what is anion, what energy terms are included in this: ionization energy, electron affinity, heat of formation, lattice energy, Fezan's rule, means the covalent characters in an ionic bond. We have discussed each and everything in very detail now. So in today's video, we are going to discuss the covalent bond introduction, what it is actually after completing the ionic bond, right? So today our main topic is covalent bond. Introduction to the covalent bond, right? Since after this we are gonna discuss the theories of covalent bond in very detail. Introduction to the covalent bond, right? There are a lot of theories of covalent bonds. See, we are just going to discuss an introduction here in today's video. Afterwards, we're going to discuss the theories of covalent bond. There are a lot of theories of covalent. The first ever theory was Lewis dot structure. Afterwards, this was also known as electron dot structure. Afterwards, we got VBD, valence bond theory. Afterwards, we got VSEPR, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Afterwards, we got MOT, which is molecular orbital theory. So we have got a lot of theories of covalent bond, but we are gonna dive into it. We are gonna discuss each and every theory in very detail, since our main chapter is all about theories of covalent bond. So ionic bond we have just discussed. Since we need to understand there are a lot of there are a lot of bondings, right? There are a lot of bondings. So this we have just discussed to clear our mindset that there are a lot of bonding, but our main chapter is all about theories of covalent bond. So our main chapter, our main topics would be VBD, Lewis dot structure, MOT, VSEPR, hybridization, the main topic of it. All right, then hydrogen bonding. Everything is very interesting here in this chapter. So we're gonna understand each and everything in very detail. So yeah, we are going to today do an introduction to the covalent bond, right? What is covalent bond, right? Now see, covalent bond is nothing. It is nothing but it is sharing of an electron. It is nothing but it is sharing of electron, right? So sharing of electron is what we call the covalent bond. See, when we were discussing Fezan's rule, we said there are some covalent characters exist in an ionic bond, and there we discussed that polarization happens on an anion, which means anion is attracted towards cation. I have made here a picture as well, as you can see here, right? This anion has a polarization happens, right? So when polarization happens, polarization is a process by which it is attracted towards cation. Now see, when it is attracted towards cation, all the electrons come to the side and charge density becomes higher here, right? And this shows us that electron is being shared here, right? Electrons are being shared here now. So we know that the sharing of electron is what we call the covalent bond. That's why covalent bond is nothing. Covalent bond is again nothing, but it is only the sharing of an electron. It is only sharing of an electron, right? Now see how the electrons would be shared. For example, we have H2O, right? H2O has we can't take an example of H2O since there is another reason that I'll of course tell you. But when you see NaCl, it has an ionic bond. Since there are transfers of characters, transfer of electron, right? Na loses electron completely and chlorine gains that electron completely. That's why they get the full charges, right? For example, again I'm writing here, wait, NaCl, it loses electron, right? It has 11 electrons, so it loses 1 electron. It has 17 electrons, it wants 1 electron. That's why it gains 1 electron, which is being lost by sodium. Now see, they have completely got these charges, positive and negative. But in the sharing of an electron, in the covalent bond, they do not get complete charges, they got partial charges. Now see, these are the signs of partial charges. Partially positive charge, which means it has not actually lost electron, but the electron is being shared from this, right? This is partially negative, which means it has not gained electron. It has not completely gained electron, but the electron is being shared. That's why they have got partially charges, partially positive and partially negative. See, today we have completed a basic introduction about covalent bond. From the next video, we're gonna start the theories of covalent bond, and we trust me, we're gonna discuss each and every theory in very detail. We'll start with Lewis dot structure.